6.7 deals with a number of percentage application problems. We'll be looking at sales tax, at commission, at markup, percent of increase and decrease. So, these are kind of, they are real world problems and things that some of these you have dealt with yourself already. I mean, sales tax, for instance, is pretty simple. I mean, we all pay sales tax. It depends on where you shop and what the tax is levied at. But if we want to figure out what an item will cost when we buy it, we have to add the sales tax to the price. So the amount of the sales tax is equal to the tax rate, which would be, it would start out as a percentage and then it has to be changed to a decimal and multiplied by whatever the price of that item is. And that will be the sales tax. And then that will be added to the actual price tag, and that's, what you pay at the store when you check out. So here we go. We're going to do a few of these. The first thing, you're buying something that costs $28,000. I'm assuming that this must be a car or something. And there's a 5 5/10% tax rate. So this is the percent, and now we're going to change it to a decimal. We'll move this decimal point 2 places to the left. So we're going to be multiplying by 55 thousandths. So if we multiply on our calculator, 26,000 times decimal point 055, we find that the sales tax is $1,430. And this, when you buy a car, this is sometimes you don't pay this to the dealer. You have to pay this in order to get your license plate. So it's a shocker when you go in. So the total cost, we're going to add the cost of the merchandise with the sales tax, and that's going to equal this total price. So we're going to add $1,430 to $26,000. So it looks like that'll be $27,400. $27,430. The next one, we're buying something that costs $110, and the sales tax is 4 5/10 or 4.5%. So we're going to change this to a decimal, move it 2 places to the left. So again, 45 thousandths, and we're going to multiply that times the price, and that's going to give us the sales tax. And we're going to have to pay $4.95 tax added onto this, so it will be $114.95 when you check out. The last one, we're buying something for $1,200 and a 4% tax rate, so we know where the decimal point is. We're going to move it 2 places to the left, so we're going to be multiplying by 4 hundredths. So 1,200 times 4 hundredths. So we're going to pay $48 in tax. So when we check out or pay our credit card bill, we'll be paying $1,248. So we multiply the cost of the item times the tax rate, change to a decimal. We have to use a decimal here. And this will be the tax. and we'll add the merchandise plus the tax, and that's going to equal how much you have to pay. The next thing we're going to look at is commission, and this is a form of income based on a percent of the sales. If you do retail work, some of you may have done this, and you're paid a commission depending on how much you sell. Sometimes that's your total paycheck is just the commission. Sometimes you're, maybe paid so much an hour or a certain amount for 2 weeks or a month or whatever, plus a little percentage of what you sold. And the reason that they pay you commission is to encourage you, of course. The more sales you make, the more money they make. So all we need to do is the commission rate times the sales will give us the commission. So that's pretty easy. So we're just going to multiply the sales, and then again we're going to have the percent's going to be changed to a decimal when we put it in our calculator, and that will be the amount of commission. So we have $200,000 and 6% commission rate. We'll move the decimal point 2 places to the left. And we're going to pay for selling $200,000. This might be like if you were a real estate person and you sold a house. $12,000. Of course, if you're a real estate agent, you're not going to sell a house every hour. It may be once a month, it may be a couple of times a month, and that sort of thing. $350,000 might be in the same situation. We're going to be paid 7% commission. We'll move it 2 places to the left. So we'll multiply 350,000 times 700ths. And we get for our commission 24,500. And the last one, $98. And we're being paid 6% commission, so we'll move the decimal point 2 places so we have a decimal. So we'll multiply $98. That should be a decimal point there. $98 times 600ths, which is 6%. And our commission then is $5.88. So commission is pretty easy. It's just pretty straightforward. On the quiz, and on the exam as well, you'll just be given boxes like this. It won't tell you how to do it. You'll have to remember how to do it. Okay, we're going to talk about discounts. This is like if something's on sale and it's marked down 20%. Or marked down 50%, or marked down 25%. The amount of the discount, that's the money that you're going to actually save, is the discount rate, and we'll change the percent to a decimal, times the original price. So if something had a price tag of $500 and it's being discounted at 25%, we're going to change this to a decimal, and to find the discount or the savings, we're going to multiply 500 times 2500ths, and we're going to save $125. So the sale price, what you're going to have to pay before tax, is the original price minus the discount or the savings. So 500 minus 125, you will actually be paying $375. The next one, $480, is the original price, and it's going to be discounted 20%. We'll change that to a decimal. we'll multiply the original price times 20 hundredths, and we're going to be saving, our discount is going to be $96. And so what we're going to pay is the original price minus the discount or our savings, and in this case $384. Some stores will have these little signs in the store. They always kind of annoy me, and they say, you know, here's a whole list of normal prices, and you're getting, you know, say you're saving 20%, and they'll tell you what the sale price is. Most of us could figure these ourselves. We're going to talk briefly about markup. This is what stores do. They buy at one price, then they mark it up and sell it to you, and that markup is really what their profit is. I mean, you might do this yourself. I mean, I know that there are students out there that buy merchandise and then they sell it, you know, online, that sort of thing. So this is very similar. You've got an original price, you've got a markup rate. So to find the amount of the markup, you're going to multiply the markup rate, and of course this is going to be, you're going to change the percent to a decimal, and that will be the amount of the markup. And then to find out what the retail price is, or the final price that you're asking, is the original price plus the amount of the markup. So let's look at the first one. We bought something at $66, and we're going to mark it up 40%. We know where the decimal point goes. We multiply the amount of the markup. On my calculator says that, but we know in money we add that 0 to make 2 digits for the cents, because there's 100 pennies in a dollar. So the retail price will be this plus 66, and the price tag will be $92.40. So if we had something that cost $100 to us, and we're going to mark it up 35%, we're going to move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So we're going to multiply 100 times 35 hundredths, which is $35. And now we're going to add this markup to the original price. I can do that in my head, and I bet you can too. $135. The next section is on the percent of increase or decrease. Like if we have an original price and we have a new price, we're going to figure out what percent of the original price that it has been changed. So, we're going to find out the percent of the increase, we're going to divide the change by the original value. Same thing for the decrease, the change divided by the original value. And of course, we know we have to go from the decimal to the percent. So in the end, we'll be getting a decimal, and we'll have to change that to a percent. So how much did this change? $2.20. It's now gone up to $2.75. Looks to me like it's changed 55 cents. So in order to find the percent of increase, in this case, we're going to divide the change by the original value. There's the change. Here's the original value. So I'm just putting that in my calculator. And my calculator is saying this. this is the decimal. Now we're going to change this to a percent, so we're moving it to the right 2 places. And it has increased 25%. The next one, we have something that was $42,000 and now it's $45,000. So how much has it changed? Well, if we subtract those, we would find that it's actually gone up $3,000. So in order to find the percent of this increase, we're going to divide the change by the original. And I'm getting, I don't know if you can see that or not, but I am getting a screen full of numbers. 071428571. If I change that to a percent, I'm going to move it 2 places to the right. And I'm going to round this to the nearest 1/10 of a percent. There aren't any directions for that here, but I'm going to do that. So it's going to be 7 1/10%. Okay, the next one, something was $21, and now it's only $20.58. So we're going to be finding the percent of the decrease. So how much did it change? Well, let's see. If it went from $21 to $20.58, it's not changed much, has it? It's changed 42 cents. So now, to find the percent of decrease, we're going to divide the change by the original. And this time, this is what my calculator says. That's the decimal, and it would be a 2% change. So, like I say, on the quiz and on the exam, you'll just have boxes like this, and you'll have to remember how to do them. Your calculator will do all the work for you.